all the time, but the Buddhist concept of brilliant sanity, which
Mm,
is that, each of us, underneath all of the material layers that we pick up in life, have a core clarity that is brilliantly sane.
mm,
And when we can connect with that, that is the source from which all of our thoughts and emotions and behaviors stem. And when we can connect with that, all of who we are kind of makes more sense. And so
mhm.
I learned about Brilliant Sanity 2.5 years ago when I started teaching at Naropa. As I learn about most things these days, my students were very interested in it. And I was like, I have no idea what this is. Let me, quick catch up. And my clinical support staff did their PhD on Brilliant Sanity. And so I asked them, will you kind of explain this to me? And they gave a definition, description like that. And then they said, so for example, they knew I'm pretty open with my students about my own history and recovery in eating disorders. And, so they said, so for example, a brilliant sanity or a Buddhist perspective on an eating disorder might say, that is your brilliant sanity being brilliantly creative with the resources that you have access to get this soft, tender parts of you through these sharper environments.
Mhm.
And I'll say for me, I mean, this was 2.5 years ago. I've, been involved in, active recovery processes, 12-step groups for 15, 20 years now, and not 20, 15. Um, and it washed away layers of shame
Taking
I didn't
notes.
even, yeah, it washed away layers of shame that I didn't even know that I had. Like feel pretty comfortable in my own experiences, and I think that message is so important for so many different reasons. And one is I find as a health coach, and I've gone through this experience myself, and I'm not at the top of the mountain on it by any means, but I think so often it can be easy to think I'm broken. What's wrong with
Mhm.
me? And most of the clients who I see, that's like the only thing they believe when
Mhm.
they come start working with me is I'm broken. I can't trust my own brain. I can't trust my own body. And I think a lot of the healing is when we can get back to that core of I can trust myself. I am resilient. And that's not really a question, but it sounds like that's bringing up something for you.
Yeah, no, there's so many things that brings up. So brilliant sanity is this beautiful concept that essentially is a poetic way of referencing that place. And I'm quoting Elena Brower here. I do one of this. It's I wouldn't even call it a meditation, but um, it she says there's a place inside of you that is always at peace, always at rest. And I believe that's what brilliant sanity refers to. And that place is it is always accessible if we are willing to quiet our minds enough to get there. But even in the moments where our minds are not quiet, I've found that it's there. It's right there. It's that core piece of you that is literally unflappable. It is that
Yeah,
it can't be
yeah,
broken. It doesn't,
yeah,
there is no fracture, right? Um, and the way I view diagnoses is, for a long time, because they do come, when you think of like the word addict, that comes with a tremendous burden. It comes with a tremendous story, even the story of recovery. And I'm not saying those things aren't helpful, they are, but they come with a tremendous burden. And the way I view diagnoses now is very much like, look, all these are words that create a container for a set of behaviors. That's it, right? And those behaviors, are categorized in specific ways. And all it does is it gives us a languaging around, oh, this identifies this way, right?
yeah,
But there's nothing, when we peel that back, there's nobody saying anything's wrong, right? Some of those behaviors can be what we would call maladaptive. But to your point, it's also our brilliant sanity doing its best to adapt to the world, or the stimulus that the world is applying to us, right?
yeah,
Um, and so there is an inherent trust that can be extended there, but also there's the governing, that silence, that brilliance in you also can override that in a way and say, look, we don't, I know I want to do that, whatever it is. I know I want to reach for the candy right now, whatever your candy happens to be,
Yeah.
whether it's sex, drugs, rock and roll, you know, but I don't have to, right? Because I'm actually, there's a place underneath that that's just dead calm. Um, but I believe also that all of these things are, and this is more theoretical and philosophical, but this is the way I've come to understand myself. All of these things are extensions of love. I really don't believe. Now you could push back on me scientifically here and talk about hormones and all the stuff. I believe that everything that we are experiencing is an extension of one singular thing, which I would call, I'm just going to use the word love. Some people can call it source energy. You can call it whatever you want. I don't want to be woo woo here. I believe there's a base creative energy that exists in all of us, and humankind is uniquely designed to create. Look around us at any moment. We have created this as an extension of our biological station in the world. What happens is that love or that creative energy is gets pushed through us, and we are a prism. And so you view it like, the cover of the Pink Floyd album, right? There's this brilliant white light that comes through our human bodies and the experiences, and then it gets pushed out in different ways. And those are the different emotions that we feel, and those are the different behaviors that we express, and those are the different forms of art that come out of us, right? So when I zoom out far enough, what I'm seeing is this is my love wanting to be seen, needing to be expressed. Any emotion I feel is my love, my base core emotion being pressed upon or stimulated in a specific way. And it's expressing as anger. Oh, my love feels overlooked. My love feels oppressed. My love feels celebrated. My love feels denigrated. My love feel, and then those come out as the I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm sad. Do you see what I mean by that? And
Yeah.
so that brilliant sanity is in many ways that pure white light that's getting thrust through the prism of my uncomfortable meat suit.